We're back, baby. Movie Buffs. This is so exciting. I've missed this so much.
Yeah, we're so happy to be back, guys, with Movie Buff Season 2.
Yeah, this is Season 2 officially. I know that we didn't make any kind of like announcement when we were first starting the show that we were going to like do seasons like that was Season 1, but we're here.
Yeah.
We're establishing it now.
Yeah.
Season 2. We back, baby.
We're back, guys. We're back.
If you're new to the show, hi. We don't want to like exclude, our new fans. Thank you so much for watching, listening. This is Movie Buffs, a podcast where my gorgeous boyfriend / co-host and I talk about all things movies and TV in Kenya and beyond. And yeah, it has been a long time. We gonna get into it. We gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? We gonna tell you what's been going on because it's been a wild last like 6 months. I think our last episode was what, August? That's what you said, Elvis? Shout out to our great production intern who holds us down.
Yeah.
Shout out Elvis. So it has been a long time. Right. So what have we been up to? What have we been doing?
Yeah, so basically, we started Movie Buffs like about a year ago.
A year and some change, like November 2022.
November 2022. And, we started this because of our passion for just watching movies and TV shows, talking about it, and just being on camera and talking into microphones and giving you guys like our opinions on things. Yeah,
we're good millennials, right? So we're like, oh my God, we have something to say. Everyone needs to hear it.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to hear it.
Right. So we're having a great time doing that. We were coming up with all the different episodes for you guys, and we're really happy to get back to that. So around halfway through the year, last year, we got this idea to start working on a production company that produces podcasts now, like aside from just Movie Buffs.
Also, like good millennials, we're trying to get multiple streams of income. So we're like, all right, we have this project. We love it so much. I think, if we're being totally honest, we were struggling a little bit with consistency. Y'all know how it is. Like, you got your other jobs, you got your friends, you got your family. And let me tell you, we might make it look easy.
Yeah.
But podcasting is not easy. It's so hard. It takes a lot of work. We are not like just sitting here and like talking about whatever. It takes so much effort to make this happen. And so we definitely were kind of starting to feel the strength a little bit about it, but we were still active. We were still there. We were still hungry. And then, we got this idea of like, well, there's so many other stories that we want to tell, so many other voices that we want to uplift. Mm-hmm. Let's pursue that. Let's do it now. I think, in Kenya, the podcasting space is really growing. We're seeing like people like Man Talk, shout out Man Talk, and so many of these other podcasts get like really like, significant accolades and significant opportunities. So it felt like this is the time to really establish ourselves as kind of like a home of really fresh, really great, really unique Kenyan content, whether it be podcasting or really whatever it is in the digital space. So we were like, let's do this.
Right. And just from trying to expand everything we do, like she said, Movie Buffs got really hard to keep up with, and we always knew we'd get back to it at some point, but we had a lot of things to figure out. We had a lot of things going on, and we finally reached the point where we're comfortable to come back and do this again with you guys, and we're really happy to be here, man.
Yeah, so basically when we decided to start the company, we were like, we were hungry, we were excited, we were like, let's do every single show possible. Yeah. And you might have seen some of those shows, Sisters in Crime, Pillow Talk, really, really proud of them, but we definitely like put way too much on our plate. And I think that's really relatable to talk about. And I think that that's a great segue into like what this new iteration of Movie Buffs is going to be like. Right. We started off and we were just like, oh my gosh, we want to do everything. And then we learned pretty quickly that doing everything is a lot.
It's hard, man.
And so, we're juggling all these things, still doing our other jobs, still trying to live normal lives, and it just became unsustainable. So we kind of like quietly stepped away from Movie Buffs, and we were trying to figure out, okay, how do we champion all of these shows? How do we get new opportunities? How do we make these shows successful? And it was just running us to the ground. Now I feel like we finally like gotten our shit together and we're like, okay, we understand what direction we're going down with the company. And if you guys want to like hear more about like Kariba Productions things, even like starting a business in your 20s, like what it means to step into a space that isn't populated by a lot of different people. It's kind of like, when it comes to like, production, TV, content creation work in Kenya, like there's like, there's a handful of major players and the rest of us are just on the outskirts. And so if you guys want to like hear more about like that process and how we navigate it, let us know, because I'm definitely willing to like let you guys into that. But anyways, echoing what my boo said earlier, we finally got our shit together and we were like, you know what? Let's get back to basics.
Basics,
Get
man.
back to basics, okay? And the basics for us is movie buffs. This whole thing started with our love of podcasting and of movies and TV. And so it feels like, it's a new year, new us. And it felt like just like the perfect time to come back and to do this. So that's a lot, but all to say, we are so excited. This show is going to be, this version of the show, this new season, even though we're talking about it like, it's just a season 2, this definitely is a different show. So if you are a fan of us or if you are a new fan, get ready for something new, something fresh. Obviously, we're still going to be talking about movies and TV. That's obviously, that would be crazy to still have this podcast be called Movie Buffs and be talking about like random shit. So it's still going to be anchored on that. But we're also going to be talking about pop culture. Ooh, what's Ice Spice doing? What's she doing? What's Oprah doing? We're going to be talking about all of that stuff, and that's going to be really fun. I'm a pop culture, junkie, so I can't wait to share that with you guys and talk to you about that.
And I like talking shit about anything, so.
Yeah, no, it's true. One thing we love to do is gossip on this couch. We're in our apartment. Fun fact, we have a new home. We have a new location. We're in our gorgeous apartment. I won't say the name because nobody paying us. I'm not saying any name, and I'm not getting a check. If I'm saying your name, I'm getting a check.
Also, I don't want to drop the location, man.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll have... Honestly, I think stalkers are fabulous. I really think I'll feel like I've made it when I have a stalker. Just a little bit. Not something serious, but just a stalk. You know what I mean? Someone just being in the bushes a little bit. Anyways,
That's creepy, low-key.
It is a little creepy. Anyways, yes, on this very couch that is our couch, we do love to gossip. So we're super excited about that. We're also just going to be talking about more of our lives in general. I think, this is going to sound so egotistical, but I think that we live interesting lives. I think, you know what I mean? We're these two third culture kids. By the way, did you hear that third culture kids is now a no-no term?
Why?
Apparently, it's offensive. Are you offended by that?
No.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's you can't be called that. I don't know what else to call us, but we're we're multicultural people who happen to be Kenyan. And, we are starting this production company. We're podcasters. We're trying to be producers, trying to be screenwriters, trying to do all of these things. And so we want to bring you guys into that a little bit. We're so grateful for you guys. We're so grateful for how, our recurring fans, how you guys have rallied with us and engaged with our content, and all of this. And so it's it feels let's take this to the next level. It's we've gone from a situationship and now we're steady. We're boyfriend, girlfriend, love. So that is what the show is going to look and feel like. So I will say that, okay, regarding, let's go back. So when it comes to pop culture, so right now you're listening or watching this in probably middle February, whatever. We are recording this in January. So right now, for the first 2 episodes, we're not going to be covering pop culture just because by the time the news cycle is going to be over. I don't know if y'all know, but this news cycle be moving.
Yep.
So the things that are happening right now, Jonathan Majors, the Cat Williams interview, all those things are not going to Cat Williams. They're not going to be relevant. But I will say we are going to be making a TikTok that will come out. Right now, what's the date today?
It's the 12th?
Today's
13th?
It's the 13th. Right. So it's going to come out the following week. You'll get that content soon. You'll get to see a taste of what we have to give when it comes to pop culture commentary. That being said, welcome back. Here we are, season 2. Should we get into the meat?
Let's get into it, guys.
Let's get into the
back,
meat.
Everyone. Welcome back, man.
Let's get what they came here for. So in the spirit of sharing our actual lives and what we're actually doing, we thought that it would be so cute to kick this off, one on Valentine's Day. I gotta say, I'm a little bit of a sucker for Valentine's Day. It's not my favorite hobby, but I think it's cute. I think it's cute because I think it's cute to celebrate love in your life, whatever kind of love it is, right? It could be familial love, girlfriend love, friend love.
I like how you called it a hobby.
A hobby?
Yeah.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Oops, I meant to say holiday. My bad. Oops.
Okay.
But that's fine. That's multiple layers, though. Maybe my mind was thinking about something that my you know what I mean? My mouth and my body hadn't gotten to it yet.
It's I just be in love for fun,
Also, you're such a fake co-host for calling out my mistake. You're so fake for that.
No, I was trying to understand.
You said, oh, bitch, you messed up.
I was trying to understand.
I know. I'm teasing you. Anyways, yeah, I love Valentine's Day and I love love. And I thought, what better day to come back with a bang on a banging holiday? Get get it because people bang on, on Valentine's Day. So so we thought that it would be cute if we shared how we met. Honestly, it's not a wild story. Like it is and it isn't. I think it's like it's a little bit cosmic in that like we met in one phase of our life, then we started dating in another phase of our life. Right. But yeah, let's get into it. So Will and I went to the same high school together. Shout out the International School of Kenya.
Yeah.
Go Lions. Roar.
Go Lions, man.
Go Lions. And it's so funny. Like would you say that we were friends? I would say we were acquaintances.
Yeah, we weren't really friends. Like I never like been to your house or anything.
Right.
Or like we didn't like hang out like that to be like friends. I guess.
Be friends. We would kind of have like these random moments where we would just like have really nice conversations like on Facebook Messenger. The kids probably don't know what that is. Do you want to explain what that is to them?
We look so old, man.
We're so old.
Facebook.
It's terrible. Facebook Messenger. It's going down. Not even in the it's going down in your inbox.
There wasn't even DM those days, man.
There was no DM those days. But no, yeah, I remember like thinking that you were like super cool and like I thought that you were really like edgy and alt then, which is so funny like knowing you now. And I think edgy and alt. When I think about
that was my emo era.
Deep in your emo era.
That was way past that.
Cause tonight will be the night.
My emo era was before that, man. It was like 2007.
But you were like angsty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like not in a bad way. Okay. Like just like like.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're a teen, your eyes are always like squinted. Like you're always like, what?
Right.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just
Makes
thought you were
sense.
super cool, and I feel like music is one of the things that we bonded over that we talk about a lot. Anyways, I digress. So you came to ISK in 12th grade. We are acquaintances for that year. We go to college our separate ways. We would talk sometimes, actually. I remember actually asking you also on Facebook Messenger, which is also aging us.
Yeah, man.
But I'd ask you like, oh, like how's Atlanta? Like how's school and everything? So we were cool. We were cool, but we weren't like friends. Then fast forward, how many years after that? A couple. Back to 2018.
Like
and I forget what did I post? What was it that I posted?
No, it was Lil Wayne dropped the Carter 5, the album. And there was a song called what's it called? It's the one with Swiss Beats. What's it called?
Mona Lisa.
No. It's Uproar.
Uproar, yeah.
Uproar. Yeah, Uproar. Yeah, so like that was like my favorite song that week. So like you posted it, so I messaged you. I was like, yo,
I'm a cool girl.
This shit's fire. Yeah.
Yeah, and then sparks flew from there, and then now we're here. I think you know what, to me, honestly, one day we should write something, because Will and I are super interested in screenwriting, and one day we should write a story inspired by our love story on some Allison Brie, Dave Franco stuff, which we'll get to later, put a pin in that. But yeah, speaking of love, shall we get into some movies?
Yeah, man. You know what time it is.
Yeah, you know what time it is. You know what? I want to talk about rom-coms for a minute. Speaking of, so today we're going to be talking about the 4 rom-coms that even if you hate rom-coms, you gotta watch. And before we get into it, let's talk about the genre itself. Because, you know, rom-coms, first of all, I'm a huge rom-com fan, which I don't think is surprising to anybody, right? Like, I'm that girl. I'm that girl.
Surprising.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, I grew up on it. I loved them. They defined me. They played such a big role in my life. And it feels like the last, I don't know, like 5-6 years, the genre has been in somewhat of an identity crisis a little bit. We've kind of, I think, in the world of like cancel culture and like, you know, like lots of conversations about like how to have relationships, how to respect boundaries. That's had an interesting ripple effect, I think, on the rom-com genre. Like I feel like the genre as a whole has had a very hard time figuring out like, okay, how do we hit all of the marks of the genre while not being offensive and also like tell fresh stories and, you know, uplift new characters within that. Because it's such, you know, it's been done so many times, right? Like, how do you keep it fresh and how do you keep it appropriate? Which sounds kind of weird, but, you know.
Yeah. I think, like you said, the landscape for movies has changed. And especially with the plot lines for rom-coms, I feel like some of them try to create something completely different, and some of them try to like make it nostalgic.
Yeah, it almost feels like filmmakers have a hard time translating modern dating and modern romance to film
Yeah,
a little bit,
yeah.
a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what we're saying. Because like, when's the last truly great rom-com? We haven't had that many, to be honest.
Yeah,
and even just
that's what we found when we were looking for them.
Yeah.
Like, of course, there's many out there that you can watch, but like ones that you can actually be like, oh, this is actually a really good movie. It just seems like there's not that many options. Like,
yeah, and just for extra context, for this particular episode, we were picking modern rom-coms specifically. So we were only looking at like the last like
2 years.
year or two, which there have been maybe 5 rom-coms, 10 rom-coms. We did not have a
There
big
weren't that
pool
many,
to pick from. So truly, if you are somebody who loves rom-coms or you just like love movies in general, these 4 movies that we've picked, first of all, carefully curated and very like non-rom-com fan friendly. Because Will honestly isn't a huge rom-com person.
I'm not.
Yeah, it's not his genre. He's bored by the romance. Give me the comedy. And so this is like rom-com fan, non-rom-com fan approved. We were actually able to like come together and be like, okay, yes, this. So this is truly like this is the list for you. This is the list for you for sure.
I don't not like rom-coms. I just don't. It's not something I gravitate towards as much. But I've seen so many.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed most of them.
Yeah. So you're like, would you say that you're like meh about the genre?
You know, okay. I kind of see them more as like it's just a comedy movie, but that's now what the plot is. You know what I mean? Like,
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
I'm not really going to it for the romance.
Got it.
I guess I'm going to it for the comedy and
Got
like
it.
whatever story is attached to it. So I kind of see it like that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Anywho, let's get into it. All right, so our
go.
first pick, shall we talk about I Want You Back?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's even the first one.
Yeah. Super, super cute movie. Well, why don't you explain it to us? What's the movie about?
Okay, so it's Jenny Slate?
Yeah, Jenny
Is that her
Slate.
name?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Honestly, one of my favorite things about Will is that he cannot differentiate white people. Like, I'm telling you, he'll see a picture of Joe Biden and be like, oh my God, like, is that Greta Gerwig? Like, is that, like, he cannot figure out, like, to them,
It's like Ryan Gosling. I'm like, is this Matt Damon?
No, it's actually ridiculous. Like, I don't know what you got in your brain, but your brain said, I don't know, these
No,
Caucasians.
sometimes it makes sense, man.
Okay.
They look the same. They be looking the same.
Okay. Yeah,
Elvis feels me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, babe.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's Jenny Slate and Charlie Day are the 2 stars. So.
Do you know who's who? Can you differentiate between the two?
Yes, I can. One is the woman and one isn't.
Killed it.
Okay. Yeah. So. There are people who are in relationships, different stages of relationships, not with each other.
Yes.
And Charlie Day gets broken up with by his wife? Was it? No, it was his girlfriend.
Girlfriend of 6 years.
Girlfriend of 6 years. Okay.
Played by Gina Rodriguez, who, we'll
Gina
get to that.
Rodriguez,
We'll talk
yeah.
to her. I have a lot of feelings on
Yeah.
Gina Rodriguez.
So he gets dumped by his girlfriend of 6 years, and then Jenny Slate gets dumped by her boyfriend of like some few months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played by the sexy ass, what's his name?
I don't know.
Is it the Eastwoods? It's Scott Eastwood.
Oh,
it's
Scott Eastwood.
I don't know Charlie Day. Maybe I shouldn't have talked shit about you not knowing white people because the minute that we said Charlie Day, I got confused.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, played by the sexy ass Scott Eastwood, who's even. I'll get canceled for that. Let me not say that. I'm gonna get canceled for that. Let me shut my mouth.
Yes. Okay. So they both get dumped. They obviously both take it horribly, and
They're down bad.
They're down bad. So they wind up running into each other, meeting each other per chance. They work in the same building at different places, so they're both in the hallway the stairs trying to smoke, and they meet each other, and they both reveal to each other they've both been dumped just recently, and they tell each other about their breakups and their relationships and all that, and yeah, they basically come up with a plan to get their girlfriend and boyfriend back.
Their respective partners back. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's what the movie's about, right?
Will's looking at me like, did I do it? Did I get it?
No.
Yeah. It's like, it's, with these kind of like, let's hatch a scheme movies, there's always a lot of like moving parts of like, okay, so like character A is trying to get character B's boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of like movement, but yes, exactly right. So essentially 2 down bad recent breakup ease. It's not a word. They hatched this plan to get their respective partners back. I gotta say, again, echoing what I just said, I'm a sucker for a scheme-based rom-com. Like, oh, me and so-and-so gotta do something devious together. I love it. I love it.
Right.
It's a classic sort of like, what's the word? It's a classic like setup, like format for the rom-com genre, and it gets me every single time. And this one really delivered to me. This one very much felt like it could have come out like in 2011, 2012 in the best way.
Right.
In the best way. I thought Charlie Day was super funny. I thought Jenny Slate was funny, and I'm not. I think Jenny Slate is meh in general. I know. Will,
I don't really know her.
Yeah, you don't really know her like that. She's like, your Amy Schumer. These white girl humor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was really charming. I felt like the emotional depth was the right amount for me in terms of like, I think getting that balance is important for the rom-com genre. You don't want like it to be all comedy and like no stakes, or you don't want it to be like all stakes, no comedy.
Yeah.
It felt like, oh yeah, okay, there are some emotional truths that we are getting to that feel very real and relatable, feeling like you're behind in life and not knowing what you're doing, and feeling like you've pigeonholed yourself into this kind of characteristic or into this kind of personality. It felt very like, this feels there's some really like nice, powerful truths to these characters that I feel like are relatable.
Yeah. I like that about it as well. I think Charlie Day's hilarious.
Yeah.
And like he's really funny, and he really brought that side of his comedy to the movie.
I love his voice.
Yeah, but it was also cool seeing him like do some serious acting a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of at the same time also. Because
Yeah.
like from what I've seen him from, I haven't really seen that all that much. There was that one movie where he was like a teacher. Remember? He was like a substitute teacher or something.
What movie was that?
Yeah.
Elvis, do you want a mic? Do you want to join?
The one
with
with Ice
on the
Cube.
couch?
Yeah, that movie with Ice Cube. So I've kind of seen him, kind of like do that a little bit, but in this movie he was like actually doing it. Yeah. So it was really cool. As someone who's not a huge watcher of rom-coms, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that it was genuinely funny.
Yeah.
Like there's this one scene, and of course we won't like spoil it for you. This is one scene where Scott Eastwood and Charlie Day's character, they end up becoming friends. That's not really a spoiler. I think you can probably see that coming. It's definitely in the trailer.
Yeah.
They end up in this predicament with these teenage girls, which I thought was such a great scene. Scott Eastwood is funny, and I forgot that he's a funny actor. He typically gets cast.
What I've ever seen him in. I
Probably
don't think,
nothing, because he's usually like somebody's hunky love interest. Like, and he usually like, I've seen like sprinkles of like, oh, this is somebody who like is funny, but I felt like he was really in his comedic bag in the movie.
Yeah.
As a side character, he was holding it down. He was holding it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And definitely outshined Gina Rodriguez.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Even her, like, just her character, like, not to make any spoilers, but, like, just the ending for her was like,
Yeah, it was just...
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was kind of like the,
Yeah.
But anyways...
I would say if you are somebody who liked the 2010s era of rom-coms, like That Awkward Moment and Going the Distance with Drew Barrymore, that's a deep cut. Like if you like that era, this movie is for you.
Yeah,
it's very much, which is a specific vibe.
It felt like it's like 2012.
For sure. Very much gave 2012.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's your rating for this movie? I know that we did it when we watched it, but I'm curious now, after it's been a little while, what do you think?
I think I'll give it a 6.5, 7.
Okay. Yeah, I would give it a 7. So I think,
Yeah.
overall we'd say a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoyable watch, easy movie, really easy. You're looking for something low stakes, you want to chuckle, put on this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
Right.
Shall I move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, you pick the next one, partner.
Shall we do Rye Lane?
Yeah. You know what's
Yeah.
crazy? I was also thinking we should do Rye Lane.
I think that, yeah.
Listen,
That makes sense.
We live together. We're in sync, baby.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about Rye Lane. Okay, so I'll take the since you were brave enough to synopsize the movie. Let me take this one. Rye Lane. What a cute, charming indie film. So we follow these two. It's set in London. We follow these two Londoners, and essentially kind of similar setup, right? Like they both have gone through their respective breakups. They're not in a great place. They're trying to get out of the hole. You know how it is, right? You break up with somebody, you try and recover and everything. Then you get to that point where you're like, I'm not down bad, but I'm trying to climb out of the hole still. You know what I mean? That's essentially where both of these characters are. And they basically spend a day together, essentially getting to know each other, getting to sort of like rectify some of the wrongs in their lives, and eventually, getting together. Again, not a spoiler alert. It's a freaking rom-com.
You know.
Rye Lane premiered at Sundance when I went in 2023. And you know what? I really wanted to go see it. I didn't go because let me tell you something. I didn't get to see it. I think it either didn't work in my schedule or I was just like too exhausted from watching like all the movies and like writing and doing all that stuff. So I didn't get the chance to see it. But man, like I actually, I'm glad I got to watch it with you. What a cute movie.
Yeah.
I loved this. I thought it was very it's so like artsy and has a heartbeat and has a soul. Like it felt like
It has a lot of character to it.
a lot of character. You can tell the filmmaker really understood what story she wanted to tell and what culture she wanted to bring to life and what aspect of London she wanted to bring to life.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was very I thought it was very intentional in that way.
Yeah, definitely. It really had its like own identity and it was so unique.
Yeah.
I remember when we watched the trailer, it seemed so intriguing because we're like, this movie has like a really like a super indie vibe, like
Such a cool vibe.
And then now when we were watching it, it kind of reminded me, it made me feel think of like, I don't know what era, maybe like 90s 2000s movies that kind of have this really weird, like it's like a world that's like different but it's not, you know what I mean, like it's
Yeah.
supposed to just like create a vibe more so than like be a different like world, like
You know what it was
just had-
giving to me?
Yeah.
To me, it was giving the Negro version of 500 Days of Summer. Like, you know how 500 Days of Summer had that, like, aesthetic of, like, the, it's kind of like,
Oh,
it's
it's the-
drawn, then it will, like, come to life.
That's the one
It's
with
kind of like,
which one was that again?
Jordan, was,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
it's too many J's.
Okay, yeah, I know that-
And
I know
too
that
many
movie.
G's.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, his parents needed to pick. It's too many similar styles, and I can't.
Joseph
Jordan,
Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph, like, it's too many. Pick one.
There's no Jordan.
There's no Jordan.
No.
Okay, I'm just filling that in.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was that one with him, and he falls in love with a girl called Summer. It's
Yeah,
Zoe
yeah, yeah.
Deschanel. Yeah, so
I haven't seen that.
you haven't seen 500 Days of Summer?
I think I saw it like on DSTV in like
No, you
2010 or
haven't?
something. Yeah, like I saw it like years ago. But I don't
Guys.
think I even watched the whole movie.
That's wild.
But
We'll
yeah.
watch it after this. But yeah, so basically in that movie, like it's kind of like plays with this like magical realism, like things
Exactly,
like
yeah,
come
yeah,
to
yeah,
life
yeah,
and
yeah,
everything. And that's like very much like this.
Right,
This
right.
movie felt like the Negro modern version of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's
Yeah.
so like I really like that it had this like identity about it to
Yeah.
where it's like, yo, I can't even like this doesn't look like any other movie
Yeah.
or anything. And it's just really calm. Like it's what I like about it also, it's this really simple story.
Really simple.
There's
not
nothing
doing
extra.
Too much.
There's no crazy plot twist.
Yeah.
Like we're so used to watching like thrillers
We really are.
and like horror movies.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to watch something also sometimes that doesn't have like a plot twist.
Yeah.
Like it's just what it is. Like
The writing felt very lived in, very unpretentious, very like it almost felt like those aspects of the film were very like grounded. Then it let the other aspects, the aesthetic, really sing and shine.
Yeah.
And that's what made this like really fun and engaging to me to watch. It was
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
to look at. They actually filmed most of the film is in like the fisheye effect. If you don't know what that is, like we'll put a picture here in the editing.
It's kind of like this like
Yeah.
fish eye, like
Panoramic kind of like shot.
It's like a really subtle fish eye.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's so
Yeah.
interesting to watch. Tell me about how you felt about like the characters.
Okay, the characters, there weren't that many of them.
Yeah, I think really mostly it's the main characters.
Yeah, just the main two characters.
Whose names I immediately forget. Well,
I've-
again,
yeah,
we'll pop them
I
up
have no
somewhere
idea
here
what
on the
their names
screen.
are.
Our editors will do their job.
Yeah.
Immediately forget.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. They seem kind of unique to me. So like we said, it's based in London, and it's like all black people basically,
Negroes.
right? So me personally, there's the kind of black British movies or TV shows that I've seen. They're usually a certain type of vibe. They're about a certain thing. A lot have to do with like crime and stuff, like Top Boy and stuff. So it was cool to watch a movie like this that's just all black British people, but it has nothing to do with what I'm used to watching.
He don't know about that Love Actually. He don't know about that. He don't know about that.
I really don't.
Yeah. I felt like the characters, they felt like really relatable to me. I really appreciated, whenever we see a man on screen, like having emotions and owning those emotions. So I really appreciated that we got to see some vulnerability from the male character. I think that can sometimes be, it can sometimes be one-dimensional in romantic comedies, and I liked that there's like multiple layers,
Right.
and I appreciate that. Like, I liked the dynamic of like, oh, like putting both of these characters in tough emotional situations, and then showing compatibility through that. That doesn't really happen in real life, but I thought it worked in terms of like characterization. Like, for example, that one scene where she goes, or where he goes and he goes to meet like his ex-girlfriend. Again, it's not really a spoiler alert, like it's in the trailer, so relax.
That was dope. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like he went to, so basically the male character whose names we're so sorry we forget. He went to go, his ex-girlfriend who cheated on him like asked him to meet her for lunch, and her new boo was there and everything, and poor guy is just tanking. Then old girl comes in, now the girl that is his love interest, now the guy, and she basically like saves it for him. And so I appreciate that. Again, quite charming. I even think like, you know, the way in which she had to confront her own issues with her own breakup felt really real. I think sometimes we, you know, that's really relatable.
Yeah.
I think just like trying to like rewrite the narrative of why something ended with somebody is super relatable. So again, super thing. I think the theme that connects all of these 4 movies is that they're just like super grounded and very much talking about like real relatable issues that affect people who are in the modern dating world.
Yeah,
today.
you know, and like what you were just saying, what I did like about Right Lane is that it doesn't have, not that they're wrong and they don't work sometimes, but it didn't really have any of those like cheesy cliches.
Yes, no cliches at all.
With like, you know, the whole rom-com
Yeah.
side to it. Like
Right.
it wasn't like, you know, like
I'm just a girl looking for a guy. You know what I mean?
yeah, it didn't have those things. It was kind of just like more like just about like, oh, what have these 2 guys just experienced, and then what did they experience together? And
Yeah.
that's kind of just all it really is. There's no ulterior, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's real life, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like sometimes people do really sneak into your life
Yeah.
and then end up being someone who becomes so important to you and makes you better.
yeah.
Hey, babe.
Yeah, so
You know what I
like
mean?
this one again, as someone who doesn't watch rom-coms that often, I thought it was really interesting just how everything was set up, what actually happened in the plot. So the conflict that they had separately, then coming together, then the conflict they had together that was ultimately resolved.
Harmonious.
And, you know, like at the end of the day, it kind of was happily ever after, but it didn't really get that far. You know what I mean? It was just kind of it was like the whole movie was a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like one day.
I also think I liked that there was this aspect of like, oh, okay, we have to like get past our shit to now move forward into our new shit as a couple.
Yeah.
And I appreciate, because I think that like, I think with romantic love especially, like there is this element of self-growth and development that needs to happen before you move on and grow with a partner. And I think this movie balanced those two really well, of like balancing a personal journey and a journey of a budding couple really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mwah, chef's kiss. Okay, shall we continue?
Oh, first of all, what
Yes.
is your rating?
Oh my gosh, ratings. How could I forget?
Yeah.
This is an 8 out of 10 for me. 8 out of
8.
10 for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, what pushes it to the 8 past I Want You Back is that aesthetic, is that
Yeah.
identity
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so 8.
Yeah. Yeah, let's put it at 8.
Yeah, 8 out of
Yeah.
10. We love
Yeah.
it. Look at us agreeing.
Yeah. I
Fabulous.
definitely recommend that one. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think if you are definitely, I'm trying to think of like what movies, if you liked 500 Days of Summer, if you liked Juno, if you like films that feel very connected to a culture and a time, this is very much for you.
Yeah.
Very much
That's
for
a good
you.
way to describe it.
Yeah. Shall we continue now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, fab. Let's do No Hard Feelings next.
Nice.
So cute.
Yeah.
All right, babe, it's your turn to explain the plot.
Okay, No Hard Feelings. So our star is Jennifer Lawrence. And I don't know the guy's name.
He's a newcomer.
I don't know.
Put his
I don't know
picture
most.
here.
I don't know all of these new younger actors.
Yeah. No, he's
Yeah.
a newer face. It's fine.
Yeah. So she is a 32-year-old woman, and what's her job again?
So she's somebody else who's down bad. So she's a bartender and an
Right,
Uber
she's a bartender.
driver. Yeah.
All right. So she's a 32-year-old woman. She's down bad financially. She's about to lose her house, so she needs to make some payments on her house, and she needs a car.
she inherited this house from her mother, and it seems so. The way it kind of seems in the movie is that like her Uber is like her main stream of income.
That's how she
but
makes
she has
money.
side hustles, obviously.
Right.
And then her car gets repoed. By the way, great cameo by Cousin. Do you watch? If you guys watch The Bear,
if
you know
watch
who Cousin
The Bear,
is.
you guys know who Cousin is.
You guys know who Cousin is. If you don't watch The Bear,
Cousin
what are
is
you
there,
doing?
man.
Number one. Number two, we'll put a picture of him here.
Like we saw him come to like repo her car, and we were like, Cousin. But yeah, so yeah, she needs her car to work Uber so she can make this payment or whatever it is.
Right.
So her car gets repoed. She can't drive Uber. She can't make money. So she's talking with her friends. Her friends suggest, oh, why don't you? What was it?
So basically, she is
so sorry.
on. So I'm explaining
I'm
the
so
motherfucking
sorry.
movie.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Okay, basically J-Law's down bad, right? Okay, so she is hanging out with some friends at the place where she works. She's looking on Craigslist. She sees that these like wealthy parents are looking to hire someone to date their son, and they mean date, like date.
Like dates. Do you mean date or date?
Do you mean date or do
So when you say date him, do you mean date him or date him?
Yes.
Date him. Date him hard.
I'll date his brains out.
It's kind of like, were you silent or were you silenced?
You know?
Yeah, so looking for someone to fuck their son before he goes to college. And in exchange, they're going to give them, they'll give whoever does it their, their old...
They have some car that...
I don't know cars.
Yeah.
Toyota, Ulta, I don't know. It's not for me. Ulta Beauty, I don't know. Sephora, I don't know what these cars are
So
called.
she's talking with her friends, and her friends are like, yo, you should definitely do that. So you can just get the car, real quick.
Yeah.
Right, so... I don't know if you the son is 19.
Yeah.
She's 32, right? So
and that's basically
Yeah.
the movie. So basically the movie is her trying to sleep with him so that she can get this car.
literally, because his parents were like, oh, this guy's a loser. He's about to go to college. He's never had sex. He's never had a girlfriend or anything. So he needs this. So that's her mission, is to just have sex with this kid, man.
Yes.
And he's not trying to let it happen. It's weird because he's just so clueless, man.
He's also he's clearly very naive, right?
He's naive. He's
you know how
clueless.
these weird rich kids can be sometimes, super sheltered, only child. He clearly he's not that guy. So J-Law's putting all of her best blonde bombshell moves on him, and he's just not for it. So let's get into why we like this movie.
Yeah.
I like this movie a lot. First of all, I thought it was actually really funny. I really was laughing during this. I was really surprised. I actually think that I came into it quite skeptical.
Yeah.
Because I was I don't know. I just feel like J-Law has been very much in her Oscar winning dramatic. I'm crying on screen type of movies.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, because of that I was kind of is this gonna hit? Does she still kind of have, you know what I'm saying? That I think plus what the genre has been going through, I was kind of I don't know. Is this gonna work? I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Very well written movie. Very funny movie.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. Similar for me. I'm used to seeing Jennifer Lawrence in I won't say kind of serious roles, honestly, because most of the movies I can't really think of a movie I've seen where she was where it was funny, a comedy. I know they're there, but I can't even think of one. But the ones I have seen, it's usually something serious.
I think she's more known for being funny in real life.
In
than she
real
is,
life,
on.
And that's literally
that's her
what
thing.
made me be okay, I know I felt like it was gonna be funny because she's kind of known for being funny already without even being in a movie for being funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went into it like that, and I don't know, I liked it. I didn't have much expectations for it, but it ended up being really nice watch. And what I like about it was the ending wasn't again a cliche, it was different.
Yes.
Because I guess I don't want to spoil the ending, but I really liked
it is, but it doesn't end how rom-coms
I really
usually
liked how it
end, that's
ended.
what we'll say.
I really liked how it ended, and the choices they made with the characters at the end of the movie. I like what they did with it, and it's kind of a whole different message than just a love story,
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think the side characters also I found very satisfying, particularly the we need to get actors' names. We need to get actors' names. The guy who played
one of her friends. Yeah.
One of her friends.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Also Cousin.
Yeah. No, it was good. The movie was funny. She was
Really
actually
funny.
quite funny in it.
Really
like
funny.
it felt like watching those like, late 2000s movies.
Yes.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I did feel like that to me.
Yeah.
All right, what do you rate this movie?
I guess it's on a 7. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll give it a 7.5 because I thought that it was slightly funnier than I Want You Back. So 7.5
Yeah.
for me.
Okay.
So what's that? What's the average of that? Quick math. 13.5 divided by 2. Who knows?
Everyone's scratching their heads and
We are
looking-
creative people. We're
looking
not
down.
numbers people. Should we just say it's like 7.2.5? I don't know. We'll just say it's 7.
Yeah,
Let's say 7.
we'll just call it a 7. Yeah.
We'll call it a 7. I'm trying to think what movies, if you liked this, you would like this one. I actually think it's really similar to I Want You Back. I think if you like that kind of like 2010s
Exactly. Yeah.
type of movie where it's like a little vulgar, a little racy, a little inappropriate, that's this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It felt like, I don't know if it is, but it felt like the Judd Apatow type of movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
It felt very like Judd Apatow-y in
Yeah.
like an elevated way.
Yeah.
So if you like a Judd Apatow movie, that you get the vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, last but
Good,
not
good,
least,
good.
somebody I used to know.
Somebody I used to know.
Now
Yeah.
you're just somebody that I used to know. Somebody.
Kept singing the song during the whole movie.
I used to know.
Yeah,
so
man.
sang it the entire time.
Yeah.
This movie is super cute, babe. You want
Right.
to take two of describing it?
You do it.
Okay. It's good to know your strengths. So somebody I used to know. All right. So the adorable and charming Alison Brie plays this TV producer who, again, is down bad. You know how rom-coms are. It always starts off with one or two characters who are down bad. She's down bad. Life isn't doing great. Her life's all about her work, whatever. She, her show that she's pretty much banked her whole career on is in a complicated place. It is looking like it's not going to get picked up for next season. So she's like, okay, why don't I just I go home? Everyone's telling her go, girl, rest, go home. So she decides to go home. It's while she's at home that she bumps into an ex played by the gorgeous Jay Ellis. And essentially she thinks that by bumping into him, it's some sort of cosmic signal that they're meant to be together again.
Right.
And so she hatches a plan to try and get him back. Unbeknownst to her, he is engaged and is
Yeah.
about to get married in 2 days.
Yeah, literally.
And so, it's a classic. If you've watched My Best Friend's Wedding, basically the same thing. Except these guys are actually exes and they were actually ex-fiancés. And so
Yeah.
she weirdly agrees to be the wedding photographer. She's very close with his family. And all the hijinks ensue. All hijinks
Right.
ensue. That's what this movie's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this was my favorite one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like. It's up there because
Yeah.
I liked basically everything about it. The pacing was really good on the movie.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
It kind of, you felt like you really got to get into the characters and
Yes.
all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It felt like I liked that the wedding wasn't weeks later. I liked that it was it made the stakes nice, I think.
Yeah.
The wedding is in 2 days, what's she gonna do? You know what I mean? Versus the wedding is later this week or next week, what is she gonna do? That's
Yeah.
different, right? Different kind
Yeah.
of stakes.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a movie that's a story of someone who's trying to get back with someone who is about to get married or is going to be with somebody else, and you're not sure whether or not they're trying to get back with you, mixed signals, I think it's really good for that. But then once it goes through all of that, at the end, where it went to at the end for me was what was really interesting. It wasn't just
Yes.
she got him back, or she got with somebody else, and it was really I really like how they didn't make it actually about that at the very end. You know what I mean? It kind of went away from that.
This to me was the freshest
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
that we watched,
exactly.
and the most unique movie that we watched. Because to your point, it really the way it goes and where it ends up is really unique, and the conversations and the emotional truths that they reveal are very unique to the genre.
The characters were all so multi-layered, man.
Everybody's multi-layered.
All of them.
Everybody.
You know what I mean? And unlike one of the other movies we mentioned specifically today, kind of at the end of the movie, well, at least in my opinion, at the end of the movie, I felt like things had been resolved with each of the main characters in a way of like one character wasn't like demonized as the villain or anything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like at the end you understand that like, man, these are just people who have just like had these relationships, experiences. This is what happened. They learned things. You know, each of the characters learned things that they needed to learn. And there wasn't a character that was just like left as like, oh, like that's the loser. You know what I mean?
Everybody had their personal growth throughout the film to get them unstuck.
Yeah.
It very much felt like everybody, the core characters, all of them are stuck. And this is really the journey of them getting unstuck.
Yeah.
It's less about the you know, who's gonna marry who and who's gonna get back together with who. It's really more about like people figuring their shit out, basically.
Yeah.
This is the movie for me that I would recommend to like non-rom-com watchers.
Yeah, me too.
If you're not here for the like thing, this is for you. This is definitely
especially
for you.
how it ends.
Especially how it ends.
Especially how it ends.
I even think like the film it's not that romantic, to be fair.
No, it's not. It's
really not.
It's kind of like it has that idea of it, but the story itself isn't exactly that, you know?
Yeah.
And it doesn't follow the same, like we said, cliches as rom-coms usually follow, or even just what a romance movie is made out of.
You're not going to see people making out in the rain. You're not going to see people running in an airport. It's not that movie at all.
There's no like grand scene at the end where they make out and there's doves and you know what I mean. It's not really like that. Like
Or a song like "Cause I've never feel love like this before." It's not that movie. It's not that movie at all. Yeah. No, it was really great. I thought Alison Brie was fantastic in this movie. I adore her. I think she is such a little America's sweetheart. She's so like cute to me, and she's so talented, and she really can like embody a character really well. I want her to be in everything. I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah.
She's also nude for like a significant portion of this movie.
Right.
She is so showing titties and bush. Titties and bush all day. Lots of nudity in this.
Also, if you want to see more titties, the one with Jennifer Lawrence has titties.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Lopez did show her titties.
Lawrence.
You know what? Did I say Lauren?
You said Lopez.
Why are you out here calling me out? Like, you are so fake
you don't
for this.
confuse
Like,
the listeners.
you should know how this works.
The listeners are confused.
We go together. You don't tell me what I mess up in front of other people. Fake for that. Do you guys agree? See, fake for that. Jennifer Lawrence also shows titties. So if you're a fan of titties, there you go. 2 titty-filled options. All right, what is your rating for somebody I used to know?
I give it an 8.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give this an 8.5
Okay.
for the layers. And for the writing is smart. It's actually written by Alison Brie and her husband, Dave Franco, little brother of James Franco. And I was like, oh, what a debut. What a debut.
Yeah.
The writing is smart. The writing is witty. It's actually funny. You'll get some sharp ha-has in there for sure.
Yeah.
So that's why I give it the 8.5. Yeah. All right, so we'll just call it an 8 average.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what kind of movies, if you liked this and you would like this one. I think it's kind of a... interesting. I think, because it's so fresh and different, it's hard to find a similar, similar thing. I think just check it out. You'll like it.
Yeah.
It's for everybody, but I would say particularly non-rom-com people. If you have a partner out there who loves rom-coms, but you're like, oh, like, I just don't like that shit. Like, why is so-and-so always begging me to watch these movies? Throw this on. Mm-hmm. Your partner will like it. You will like it. That's that kind of movie. Yeah. All right, we've come to the end of the road of our season 2 debut. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, listening. We appreciate you guys so much. This season, big teams in the bucket. Okay, as we told you, we're gonna be talking about what? Pop culture. We're gonna be talking about what? Our lives. It's going to be something different. We're going to give you a more intimate picture. That's why we're in our home. We're opening up to you. It's going to be such a fun ride. There will be more announcements about what's to come. Really fun interviews with really influential figures in the Kenyan film and acting scene. Really, even just like our friends having some group movie reviews was going to be so much fun. It's going to be such a great season. Buckle up, baby, because we back.
Yeah, man. We're so excited to be doing this once again. And
we really love it. We really love it.
Yeah. And we got a lot for you guys this time. It's going to be a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more dynamic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, as always, make sure that you're following us at Movie Buffs KE for any updates on what we got going on. And check us out on TikTok or whatever. We're trying to get more on the TikTok. Also, we're creating a letterbox soon. It's happening. So follow us there. We'll have all that information on Instagram. TikTok. You know the drill.
You know the drill, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.